Muchísimas gracias, nada de inglés, puro español. Arriba la fuerza latina. No, we're in Miami. We're going to speak some English. Little bit. Well, thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you to the organizers for this Festival of Media for Latin America. I have a surprise for you. I'm coming with Marta. Marta's with me. My love, my companion, the women who with I share my dreams. We work together. So please, an applause for Marta, because right now she's a media covering. And been thinking all morning, how could we work out this meeting where you will get some ideas from me, some thoughts, and I will learn a lot listening to you, to your comments, which are of high interest to me. I think that's something that we politicians should do always, to listen more than talking. Unfortunately, I do a lot of talking, but I try to do a lot of listening. And what I'm going to try to convey to you is a basic idea, because I know all of you have interest in the Latin American markets. You might be thinking, how can you profit from those markets? How can you expand your activities and participate successfully on those markets? But my idea that I want to convey to you is that if you don't build up those markets first, there will be no markets to participate in. I'm sure that more than 50% of your success in Latin America, either if you are there now or you're planning to come, 50% will depend on building those markets, on working to make sure that on this 21st century, we have a successful Latin America. Because today everybody speaks about India, about China, about Asia. It's real that power shift from the West to the East. And it's real that power shift from Latin America to those up to now successful nations. But China and India, still each one of them has over 1 billion citizens that do not consume, that they're not a market, that they are extreme poor. So we all hope that those two nations will keep the pace and keep growing and keep being the engines for creating wealth, expanding wealth, creating middle classes. But this is something that Latin America already has. I should say that about 2/3 of Latin America, at least 2/3 in Mexico, in Chile, and in other countries in Latin America, are middle classes, are illustrated middle classes. So the market is there. But I think it's very important to understand our challenges and our threats, to go a little bit backwards and see and evaluate that Latin America of the 20th century. And we were bad performers. We were in hands of dictators all along, for decades. Military dictators, personal dictators, authoritarian governments, messianic leaders like the Perons in Argentina, populist leaders. And the question is, where was society? where we're citizens. We were kept as childs. We did not grow because we did not enjoy our freedom, because we did not enjoy democracy, which usually democracy invites all citizens to participate in the decision-making process. So we didn't grow. Only until the very end of the century, the 80s and the 90s, we took a step forward. We decided to get rid of dictators, messianic leaders, authoritarian governments. It is surprising that we did it simultaneously in those 2 decades, like it happened 200 years ago. It's incredible without your participation as marketeers, as communicators, as media companies, which did not exist, even though simultaneously all of Latin America went to independence. And there was Bolivar down there, and Sucre, and all the rest. And there was Hidalgo and Morelos in Mexico. So in those 2 decades, at the end of last century, we got rid of the dictators. And then things changed in Latin America. We began to grow as societies, as consumers, as citizens. And we enjoyed our best 10 years ever in Latin America at the beginning of this century. From 2000, or it started backwards in 1995, up to 2006, the best 10 years ever. Latin America was to